Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to solve LeetCode problem 200, number of islands. It's a bit of a log one. It's a matrix grid problem they have to work through. Basically, you want to find the number of islands, which is any adjacent ones represent an island. And so let's get started. And there's a couple different ways to do this. I like to do it with the breadth first search. I'll show you how we're going to implement that. So the first thing we're going to need is we're going to need an array of different directions. For a lot of these problems you'll see, you need to be able to check in the four cardinal directions around. So we're going to build that out here. The first one, you'll see this is incrementing to the right. It's incrementing to the left. This will increment down. And the last one will increment up with these four cardinal directions here. We're also going to need a count. B0. And we're actually going to return this count in the end. First function I like to create, not many, you don't have to create a function like this, but I like it, is a valid. When we're going to be working with different directions, we're going to be adding the different rows and columns together. You're always going to have to check if it's a valid combination. And I like to just make a quick function to do that for us. So we can do return 0, which is less than or equal to row, which has to be less than the length of the grid. And we need to do another one, which is going to be the column, which has to be less than the length of the grid, bracket 0. Again, not needed. I like a little helper function for this. So we're going to define the BFS here that we're going to be calling. What we're going to need is we're going to need a row. We're going to need a column. Row and column, and then we're going to do the setup. And I want to point out here that this breadth first search is going to be running an O of n time. And now here's where you set up a typical breadth first search. We're going to need a queue, which we're going to use a dequeue for. We're going to do queue.append. Row column. And we're going to set the grid RC. We are going to set it equal to 0. And now we can do the actual breadth first search. So while queue, we can do row comma column equals q dot pop left. Now we can do for, I'm going to call it for dr, for dc in directions. We're going to say new row, comma new column is going to equal row plus dr, and then column plus dc. Okay, so now we have the new column and we need to check in all four directions. So here's how we go about this. We're going to say if valid new row, new column, and grid brackets, new row,